What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? You already know what time it is. This is your boy, the historian. You're in the birdcage tonight with us. We're going to do a little something different tonight. We're going to let the fans get in here. We're going to chop it up with you guys tonight. We've been chopping it up with everybody else, but we got to chop it up with the most important people who keep us going. So, before we go ahead and get this thing started, if you're new to this and not true to this just yet, hit that like and subscribe button. Also, if you are coming back into the cage and you're a veteran of this, go ahead and hit that like button for us, man. You already know how we get down. You either get right or you get left. It's the bird cage. We're official. Let's go.
Okay, y'all, this is it.
What's going on? What's going on? You already know how we get down. You either get right or you get left. You are in the bird cage with your boy, the historian. We're going to have the fabulous and magnificent bird cage crew to come in here to join us. But before we do that, I got to talk about a few things, man. It's literally been a busy summer for everybody. You got graduations. Shout out to all the graduates out there. I was there last year around this time last summer. Definitely a great moment and accomplishment to graduate high school, college, and also for the little tykes or whatnot, kindergarten and preschool, because they're starting a new journey. So shout out to all the graduates out here. But I got to go ahead and get a little bit more comfortable, man. I got to bring one of the veteran OGs into the building with me tonight. We got K Dub into the building. What's going on, man?
What's going on, historian? Glad to be in the building tonight. To get into these topics, get into these Falcons. Nothing else is any significance right now to me, but getting these birds right. And let's get into it tonight, man. Bird cage forever.
Yes, sir, man. I posted the link in YouTube. I'm gonna post that link in Instagram so folks can come through, and I'm also gonna post it in X or whatnot, so we can have some folks to come through and check us out. And if they want to chime in, they can definitely chime in tonight. But man, how do you feel about this new regime right now? It's been so many things that have been going on, from off-season transactions to training camp to really just trying to get this thing started. It just seems like the Falcons are in a position where, how can I put it? They're in a spot right now. They're treading on new waters with the new regime, but they're also dealing with a lot of foolishness when it comes to the NFL and so many others that's out here that are really trying to put a roadblock in this organization trying to become great for the future, pretty much the future that's here right now. Like, why do you think it's so much hate with the Falcons at this point?
Well, I mean, it's always going to be some hate until some winning starts. I mean, it looks good and pretty right now, but they want to see results. I mean, I'm high my expectations are high because I want to stay positive at all times. I like the moves that they're making. It's a lot of intrigue. It's a lot of uh, excitement building up because it feels like they're doing it the right way. So I'm just like I'm saying, I'm just ready and eager, like an eager beaver, ready to the season to start and see how we got and go out there and go knuckle up and buckle up out there. I mean, I'm just ready to see, how they use Richie Grant this season because he's so excited. I don't think he'll be covering any tight ends. He'll be maybe playing downhill in a different role. I'm just eager to see how they use a lot of people. I'm eager to see every caddy, Harrison, everybody coming off the edge, the new D linemen that we did draft. I'm just ready to see a lot of things. So I'm sure the other fans in Falcon Nation are ready to see the same thing. So like I said, I got nothing but positive reinforcement in my heart for what they're doing right now. I mean, a lot of the moves that they made are moves that I wanted them to make in the off season. So I'm ecstatic. I don't know. I can't speak for everyone else in Falcon Nation, but the hate is always gonna be there. They always gonna hate. All you gotta do is make the haters your motivators, baby, and let's keep pushing.
Well, you just motivated me just now. Cause as soon as you said Richie Grant, my nose just started to itch, and I was about to start sneezing. We started talking about that, man. But I'm not gonna get too crazy into the woods with that one, man. But it's just one of the craziest things. You sit back and you look at it, you're like, well, damn, this is a whole different attitude because I guess Raheem Morris sees something in the kid. And this young man is pretty much on his last leg because he's been here for 3 years. So if he don't prove it this year, he gotta go. I'm sorry, he gotta go. I don't care how good he look in shorts and t-shirts. If he don't look good on Sundays, tackling folks, actually making sure tackles and not getting beat deep, he gotta go. We've been saying this. I've been saying this for the longest, and I'm standing on my soapbox with this one. I want him to prove me wrong. Because damn it, I've been right so far. I want him to say, yeah, I got you, historian. I'm getting ready to show you. I'm gonna have 6 picks this season, just like Jesse Bates had. I'm gonna have over 100 tackles. I'm gonna do all of this. I want you to do this, Richie Grant. I want you to do this because it's gonna make this secondary better. But I'm also literally got a bus ticket right now waiting for you at the Greyhound station. I'm not giving you a Delta plane. I ain't giving you a train. We giving you a Greyhound bus to get the hell out of town. That's just pretty much where I'm at with it, bro.
No, I mean I feel you. I mean I'm thinking he might not even make it to the day one roster week 1. He may get cut before we get to week 1.
Man, when I sit back,
I think competition is still for Richie Grant. I mean, you know what I'm saying? He could be a cap, not a cap, but you know what I'm saying? He could be a cut casualty, you know what I'm saying? Along with
Marco Helms done put that pressure on him already, bro.
But that's what I'm saying. They may go into this camp, not no OTA. I'm talking about when his training camp crank up. You out there playing suspect. Oh yeah, Helms out there doing that thing. You in the way.
Sir.
So then you gonna have to be a cut casualty. Also look with like Taquan Graham. All these jokers that ain't did that. Ain't did nothing.
Well, I mean,
dead weight.
Well, here's the thing. Now, what's going on, Mike? I don't know. I can't put him in the box because he misses too many tackles. He's pretty much, everybody wanted to compare him to Keanu Neal. And I'm like, yeah, you compare him to Keanu, but Keanu missed more tackles than he made. And that's why he's struggling to keep a job. And at this point, you got to look at it for what it is, man. So Helms is my guy to take over the job. Helms won me over last year in the preseason. And it's just, you saw it. I'll say this. I'm not going to ever compare him to Sean Taylor because Sean Taylor was just one of the greatest that never really got to flourish. But at the end of the day, I'm looking at it like this. That kid had an impact like Sean Taylor had. And when you talk about it, when he stepped on the field, you knew he was the best player on the defense. You knew it when you saw him step on the field. That was the effect that Sean Taylor had when he played in his first preseason game. And you're looking at it like, okay, he's working him in. And I can tell you right now, this kid is hungry. He's gotten a lot of playing time. He's made plays on special teams. He's done so many things that you ask for a young guy to do, and he was a late 7th round pick. And truthfully, the boy plays like he's a 1st round pick. So when I look at that, it doesn't matter where you're drafted. All that matters is when you get your opportunities, you have to make them count. What's going on, Berto? You know, you can always come through tonight. It's open for everybody tonight. So, you know, we getting everything warmed up. But speaking of getting everything warmed up, you know, we got the old man. He done got all warmed up. He done took a shower. You know, they got oiled down and stuff like that. He done got them bones warmed up. We got our man Great Beard in the building. What's up?
Well, what's up, Great Beard?
Hey,
Hold
man,
up.
We'll cover the freaking oil, man. Man, come on, bro.
Hey man, I like the Tyler Allgier poster. That's cool. I like it. That's a dope poster.
Appreciate it.
Anyway, you know.
Hey man, good to be in the building, man. We got a lot to talk about, man. A lot of things moving in the ATL. So
but before we chop it up, I'm gonna do something for you. Hold up. Me and K Dub, we went to the generics, but we see you want to go to players tonight, so I'm gonna have to bust one out on you tonight.
Oh, man, I wasn't trying to overstep nobody, man.
Hey man, well you know it's more stuff coming. You already know.
I met the man.
Oh no, I know you did. But so here's our question. Now we're starting off just abstract. We ain't even in order tonight. Tonight is just one of those nights where we're freestyling and we're gonna let the fans in here. You know, John the Cricket Preacher said he already gonna slide in here, and he got Red and your boy Red's supposed to be coming in here too tonight.
Oh, boy.
So you know it's getting ready to get turned up with those two.
Hey,
let's go, man.
Hey, I got a question.
Let's get into it.
Hey, I got an off question before we go.
Okay, what you got?
How do you feel about the NCAA playoff that they got going on? They released the schedule. How you feel about that?
Truthfully, it don't matter to me, bro. You gotta play. You gotta to be the best. You gotta beat the best. And the way that the playoffs is gonna be set up, you gotta do what you gotta do. You get in there, you ball out, you win, you keep going. You lose, you go home. It's simple. It don't matter. Whatever the format is, it doesn't matter. You just got to win.
It looked like the top 4 teams get a bye. Pretty much what you predicted last year, that top 4 teams get a bye. Everybody else, like 5 through 12, pretty much going to have to go ahead and get it in. But yeah, they go ahead and get in the Falcons. Okay.
I mean, but here's the thing, and you said something, and I wanted to kind of bring this up. I know it's a little off the topic, but now you're seeing that kids are getting ready to start getting paid in high school. Florida just approved the NIL just now. So, ladies and gentlemen, I just posted the link in here for you guys, so you guys can come on in and chop it up with us tonight, because we got our topics, and we definitely want the fans to come in here tonight with us. You know what? I'm gonna change. You know what? Instead of us being in the stadium, in an empty stadium, you know, I'm getting ready to. You know where I'm getting ready to take this, right, fellas?
Oh yeah, go ahead and go.
We got to take this to that boom boom room. You know how we get down. So yes, the potty lounge, baby, the potty lounge. We got to take it there. But
I don't know how I feel about high school kids getting paid.
Well, think about it. They're already being conditioned for the NFL. This is a topic. This was going to be one of those and more topics that we had. You look at them; they're getting conditioned to be groomed for the NFL, and it's early, unfortunately.
Right. Red, what it is, homie?
What's up, Red?
What it do?
So I mean, look at it like this, man. These kids are getting now. Here's the thing: how are these kids gonna get this money? Because you know, if you're under 18 in some states, really all states, you have to be emancipated from your parents to be able to get that money. And your parents are gonna be in control of that money that you have, because Jamie French, wide receiver out of Jacksonville, Florida, out of Mandarin High School, just signed a $207,000 deal with American Eagle, literally yesterday, as soon as it was approved. So when you look at that, this dude is gonna be coming into college looking to grab a bag right after he gets out of high school. He's about to be a senior this year. He's one of the top wide receivers in the country. And he definitely is going to be dangerous. But how is it going to be where you can actually coach kids hard, and now you got to deal with guys getting this money in high school? So a lot of bad habits are getting ready to start before they even get to college. And then think about what's going to happen when they get to the NFL.
Oh, you're right. I mean, just look at what. For me, it's going to be about that ego. That ego is going to be like inflated before they even step on the field, especially when they get up in college. And then you got to think about it now. It's going to be, if you really ball out, you're going to be able to get millions of dollars before you even hit the combine, which is crazy. And like you just said, it's going to be hard to coach somebody that's making money. It's pretty much what coming to coaching fear. The kids are not going to be brought into it. They're going to act like divas, and we don't know how that's going to break the continuity of the team. But on the back end, though, the college NCAA have been making millions, if ain't billions of dollars on these kids that God knows how long. So sooner or later, they were going to get their lit back.
So here's the thing. Now that these kids are getting their money, and you're going to have guys coming into college, they're going to be entitled. If they get pissed off, they're going to go elsewhere. Now, here's where the bad habits come in for the NFL and what we might experience. Now, we got Jerry Gray, who's an old school coach. A lot of these kids have to understand, once you were drafted and you sign that contract, you are now a working employee for that organization that you were drafted by.
Right.
You can't just jump and leave. You can't just get in your feelings and jump and leave. I'm going to call it for what it is. It's these punk-ass parents out here. Yeah, I said the Bernie Mac way. It's these punk-ass parents out here that's not raising these kids to understand how to deal with adversity and how to battle through and actually work to get something. Everybody thinks they're entitled. You're not entitled to anything. No one owes you anything. Okay, you run stadium steps. You're in shape. You do this. You do that. Guess what? That's the price you pay to get to that level.
I mean, that's the bare. I mean, that's the minimum, man. If what you do when people ain't looking, are you staying extra to do some more reps? Are you taking more time in the film room? How much time you putting in that weight room? Just little things like that to improve your craft, to be the best at that craft.
Lawrence Taylor was a guy. He played a character by the name of Luther LeVay in Any Given Sunday. If anybody remembers that movie.
Best movie,
he was in the shower scene where he was sitting down talking to Jamie Foxx. That was a real life. If you played any sports coming up during that time, that was a real life moment that you had to understand that everybody is not going to get that opportunity to get to that level. And when you talk about that, like he said, for every Barry Sanders, for every Jerry Rice, there's 20, 30, 40 cats you never even heard of. I cleaned it up because you know he said another word, but
oh yeah,
you just think about it. Some of the best talent never gets out of their own community. Fact. Some of these dudes that we grew up playing with, some of us that might have played on that level, that did not get that opportunity, are better than some of the guys that are in the NFL. It's just guys are in the right place at the right time and they catch the right breaks. And now that you're going to get kids that are going to feel entitled, how is that going to transition to the game when we start watching the NFL? We already see guys don't like to get dirty and like to mix it up and hit. We already see that now.
The game is changing in all kind of aspects. Like I said, I mean, it's going to get to where I think it's going to be flag football anyway in the coming future. I mean, but with all the rule changes, I'm being very serious because, I mean, you'll see shorter careers. If they're starting to make money in high school, that means they've been able to stack money from high school to college and then to the pros. You don't have to play as long because, you know, your family's already producing money when you being a spokesman and being a brand in high school and moving forward. Mm-hmm. So I just feel like we'll adjust like we always do. I mean, that's what America's about, is adjusting. We adjusted from a pandemic. We adjusted from a depression or recession or whatever you want to call it. I mean, and now we in inflation world. So now we got to overcome that. So it's all about overcoming and adjusting to it. I think, you know, it's just going to be a different type of football. It's already a different type of football than we grew up watching in the 80s and the early 90s anyway. So I just feel like we'll adjust to what we need to do. And I mean, I just feel like, I mean, every kid is not going to be able to, you know, make money like that. Not every single kid. So there's going to still be some kids that ain't really got a NIL deal or money under the table, because every kid is not a star player. You know, the star players will make those decisions and be able to do that. But, you know, the guys are still the glue guys to your teams, the guys that are still good, but they're not great. You know, so I mean, you're going to still have some guys that really love the game of football. I just feel like the game of football is going to change to where it's more. I mean, I'm just being honest. I mean, if you take all these rules and you keep add at least 2 or 3 more rules every single off season, you're going to be flag football. I mean, say 5 to 10 years or something. I don't know, man. It's really scary, but I mean, the NFL we grew up watching as a kid is no longer. I
True.
mean, the offense has all the power to do and
They
dictate
have
the
all the
game.
cards, man.
Yeah, yeah.
They're so worried about putting butts in seats. This is the thing that pisses me off about the
About the
NFL.
money.
I get it's about the money, but you're taking away from the game.
Of course.
And now when you got defensive players who can't tackle guys, oh yeah, we're worried. No, here's the thing: you never worried about guys getting hit until CTE was discovered, and then you also started finding out guys had physical problems later, and you started getting these lawsuits. And you're trying to take the violence out of the game, but newsflash, it's a collision sport. You can, if you're gonna take the violence out of the game, like K-Dub said earlier, you just got to put flags on guys. Period. Because
Football,
it's
no, I can't cut you off. Football has always been a violent sport. That's just like taking violence out of boxing. How far in life you gonna get with that?
well, and just think about this: football was meant to be played outside, not in a dome.
True.
Let's keep it a buck. It was meant to be played outside. They started catering to people who were paying money to come to the games. But the beautiful part of football, and I said, like I said, I grew up on NFL films as a child. I grew up reading. I grew up being in the elements like that. How can you talk about being in an adverse situation when you don't have to deal with the weather as well as adjusting to the defense or the offense that's in front of you? How do you understand how to change game plans? It's easy because once you take the natural elements out of the game, it's pretty much just
Vanilla.
all right. It's a vanilla game, and most fans don't understand that. It's different. Most people are, well, we don't want to get all wet. Well, here's the thing: keep your ass at home. The game is meant to be played outside. I'm sorry.
It's almost like they trying to take the challenge out of the game. Because, like you said, when you talk about the climate, especially when it's raining or snowing, whatnot, that extra element just gives you more of a challenge on how you're going to be able to produce on that level. And to piggyback a little bit before we really get into the Dirty Bird topic, I think now that high schools are getting NIL money, should go all the way back to now how their parents are going to train their kid to get to that level, knowing now that their son can get to a bag at the age of 15, 16, 17 of what that nature. That right there, just get ready for it.
Watch how many emancipation lawsuits are going to be, and watch how many parents start stealing money from their children because they're getting ready. Well, I paid for your lessons. I paid for you to play Pop One. I paid for this. This is my payment, and this is just how it would be. Okay. Well, if you're getting this payment now, understand this. If I get to the NFL, you ain't getting a damn dime. That's pretty much what it is.
I mean, I feel like I'm not going to hinder or get mad or get pissy about it. I mean, I just feel like these kids are getting their just due. I wish I'm kind of losing my feelings if I couldn't get no damn money.
They about to get paid, man. Just think about like players like Barry Sanders, players like freaking may he rest in peace, the great Walter Payton, Lawrence Taylor. All these cats now being like, man, you mean to tell me I could have got my parent out of poverty and in high school instead of waiting to get into the NFL?
And think about this. Lawrence was a late bloomer. That's what everybody don't know. Lawrence didn't start playing until, 10th, 11th grade. He was a late bloomer, and he was not a high recruit. He became a dominant player once he got to North Carolina and got a little motivation because people were saying he wasn't that good. But I'll say this. When you look at the family dynamics, because we got to move on. When you look at the family dynamics of a lot of stuff, it's getting ready to be a lot of destroyed families in this country. Period. It's about to be a lot of destroyed families in this country. Because now that these kids are getting this NIL money in high school, you're getting ready to see a lot of disrespectful stuff that's getting ready to happen. But,
about to get
and I agree with you on that, Red. Red, you might as well bring your butt up in here, man.
Come on, man. Come on,
man. Red, listen. Red, we don't have Debo up in here. Ain't nobody going to snatch your chain, dog. We don't need you. Look, we don't need you crying in the car. I'm just playing. That's my boy Red, man. Y'all check them boys out. And his counterpart, I guess, Oh,
There you go.
well.
Oh, there
Welcome
he is.
into the
There goes
cage, John.
John,
The
come on
cricket
with
preacher.
it. There he is.
John the preacher.
The cricket preacher. Listen, we already took a collection before you came in here. I know you got to get your special building fund, the love offering, as they would say, since you visiting. But we got the lemon pepper wings over there. We got the fried fish over in the corner. We got everything else around, man.
Whatever money you collect, it's never enough. Never enough. Never enough. Never
This
enough.
is why we call you the cricket preacher.
Never enough.
And Kiana.
I had to tell you, like Richard Pryor, bring the white people money.
Ladies and gentlemen, John the cricket preacher. So, first topic of the night, we already talked a lot about the NIL perspective or whatnot for the high school kids. Let's see, you talking about? Well, Playboy, what's going on, man? It's Playboy Trey. If anybody know who he is, he's the gentleman who had the rap about the Falcons that's been viral. He's actually had the poem about the Falcons that's been viral, man. Definitely a good brother. He was on 95 Sports Machine with Smitty, Chris, and Berto. Y'all check those boys out. They do a hell of a job over there. But no, we were talking about certain states have already started approving high school kids getting their NIL. So yeah, it's getting ready to be a mess. But getting to these funky birds we call our Falcons. Yeah, John. John, I saw you shaking your head. You wish you could have got that type of money coming out of high school.
Man.
But we ain't gonna get into that. We gonna let you get into these Falcons.
You get legal.
We'll be here for a whole hour with that whole conversation because I know where that's gonna go. With John, these children getting over $100,000 for playing ball in school. But
I'm turning loose. Hey, we went over that extensively last night.
So here's the thing I got for you. The Falcons are returning right now, and a lot of guys are getting healthy. Bijan, they're specifically showing clips of Bijan because of his ankle, and they're showing a lot of stuff to Kirk Cousins because they're trying to sell the fans on these guys are looking good. OTAs, they're coming back. But here's the thing: nobody's hitting nobody right now, so everybody gonna look good.
Thank you.
The question is, you know that we're gonna limit a lot of stuff during the season. You know this, right? During the off season, we're not gonna let these guys get banged up too bad or beat up when they're coming off an injury. My question is, are they gonna be as sharp during the season as they are OTAs once the real bullets start flying?
No.
John, I'm gonna let you take. Since you the guest in this place, I'm gonna let you go ahead and give us a little sermon or whatnot. You know, you the traveling evangelist.
Well, my trip to Thessalonica and to the Corinthians is going to tell you that
hell no.
And along the banks of the Nile, the Pharaoh will tell you that there ain't gonna be no water being turned to wine and no river turned to any blood, because if you're not hitting anybody, you don't know what's going on. What did Mike Tyson say? Everybody got a plan until they get hit. And that is definitely true in football, because William Andrews and you guys, I know Ryan saw it. The interview with William Andrews is earlier this week, when he was saying, he was talking about someone from the Giants hitting him, and it wasn't Lawrence Taylor. They had to revisit the plans on how to handle that young man, because he got popped so good that he said, hey, I can't handle this joke by myself. We're going to have to stop trying to power block, and we're going to have to start finesse blocking this man.
Now, see, the thing he missed out on that interview, a lot of people missed out on that. He didn't put the names out there, but I'm going to give you some of them killers outside of Lawrence Taylor that was on that defense. You had McGriff on that defensive line. Leonard Marshall came later, but you had George Martin, the old man. You remember you had Hall of Famer, South Carolina State alum, HBCU, Mr. Harry Carson was that middle linebacker. And then you had Gary Reason. And you remember you had Van Pelt on the outside and Gary Reasons during that time.
Oh, I remember.
You look at that, they had some killers. And Beasley Reese in the secondary.
Yeah, I remember Reasons. Definitely remember Reasons.
So
but that's basically what I wanted to say about that, because plus the fact it's only one practice and it's in the morning before it gets too hot.
Exactly.
You're not really feeling the heat. You're really not feeling the heat. You're not feeling the pain, because hey, after a good practice in the morning, you go eat lunch, go to a couple of classes where you go over what you did wrong in the first practice long time ago. Son, come on back out here, son. We got a little bit more to teach. And you get beat up again from what was it? 2:30 to 6:30. So I can't remember what time it was.
And just think about it.
2 days.
William Andrews got the experience. Claude Humphrey, Dewey McClain, Jeff Merrill, Fulton Kuykendall. He experienced all them dudes. As much as we talk about William Andrews being a destroyer, remember, he used to get his butt handed to him in practice. Now, and he'll tell you that. He got guys, but a lot of people don't know. Like Dewey McClain still say, yeah, he know about me. He said William is a bad boy, but he said he know about me. And we've had, I've talked to some of the old Falcon defenders. They're like, he was a great player, but we used to hand it to him back in the day. And Dewey always make sure, he said, when you get him on here, because William gonna come over here eventually. And Lynn Kane said the same thing. Lynn was like, we made them pay just like they made us pay. But more than likely, we got beat on because our offensive line wasn't the best at that time until 1980 and further.
Right. And the thing about that's why the 49ers were so tough back in the 80s, because that defense had to practice against that offense. That offense had to practice against that defense. And if you're practicing against the best that you're going to see in your conference, the best that you're going to see in the league, hey man, you cooking with natural gas. You cooking with natural gas, because I mean they used to say, man, Roger Craig, they say they used to beat that joker like the third monkey on the ramp to Noah's Ark when it started to rain.
Yep. Now just think, now John, now you talking about the 49ers. I'm gonna go one even better for you. Now, I got to talk to a couple of old Raider players, Mr. I don't know if you remember George Atkinson, Butch. Morris Brown alumni, played in the secondary. He was the man who was accused of taking Lynn Swann out. And he got in that lawsuit or whatever because they said they were the criminal element and the Raiders played too rough. Chuck Nolan, the Steelers actually sued a couple of guys on their defense because of that. But what ended up happening,
he was right.
But I mean, shoot, the Steelers defense played the same way. There were maniacs over there too.
You right.
But let's be real though.
All of them, man.
But Cliff Branch is a Hall of Fame receiver. Anybody that don't know about him, Cliff Branch was Tyreek Hill before Tyreek Hill. Cliff used to get his butt handed to him by that secondary. Willie Brown, Jack Tatum, George Atkinson, Skip Thomas, every day. And he was a young guy when he came in, and they said, we're going to kill him now because it's going to be easy for him in the game. They said every time we can beat him. And he said he learned how to run. God rest Cliff Branch's soul. He said, I learned how to run routes because I got beat up all the time and I got tired of getting hit. You either gonna get right or you gonna get left, like we say up in here. And he got right. And so 3 Super Bowl rings later, a Hall of Fame induction that he didn't get to see, unfortunately. It's a crying shame. But you think about it. Look at the Falcons now. The question is, how is this offense going to look against this defense when they actually pad up? Because we know they're going to protect Kirk Cousins. We know they're going to protect him.
Of course.
And at this point, all I'm saying is this. Everybody keep talking about Bijan. I'm going to tell you right now. Stop forgetting about the man who been carrying the ball who broke William Andrews' record, Tyler Allgier. Stop the disrespect. Put some respect on that man's name.
That guy.
Y'all get so enamored with being entertained by Bijan, you forget about the man who was carrying the ball, that was literally carrying his team when Cordell Patterson was beat up, when freaking Duke Huntley went down, when Damian Williams went down with that darn rib injury when he came in, and he shared carries when he broke William Andrews' record.
Fact.
And then and think about it, and he rarely fumbled the ball.
And
let's be real on that. Bijan put the ball on the turf too much for me. And y'all can sit there and say, oh, well, he's this, he's that. Stop fumbling the damn ball, because all the runs are nice, but guess what? It doesn't do us a hill of beans if we don't have that possession and that ball is not in his hands when he's getting up from the turf. Period.
Well, hopefully he learns from that, just like Drake London did after his rookie season. So.
I'm not cutting him no damn slack. He is a first-round pick, and I get the wide receiver position, but as a running back, that is the one position that transitions to the NFL. That's the only thing that's different is the pass blocking. But you holding on to the football, hey, that's fundamentally sound that you get at Pop Warner. That's your job.
I ain't never give him a pass. I'm just
I ain't giving him no pass. I'm putting foot.
We know that
his ass.
We're doing it right now.
I'm just stating the
exactly.
fact. That's all I would do. I won't give no one a pass. I'm just stating the fact that Drake London turned it around and he kept them getting stripped and getting the ball taken from him all his rookie season.
And I want Bijan to do well, because hell, we drafted him in the first round, and we all know that running backs come a dime a dozen. Let's keep it a buck. It's not a valued position like it is anymore. And there are tons of running backs who can do what Bijan does and what McCaffery does. Because Tajay Spears, that's playing for the Tennessee Titans right now, is a guy that can do that. I can give you a few more. Dejon Edwards is going to be one that's going to be a problem in the league. It's so many different running backs who have that skill set, but because of where those guys were drafted and how the media is pushing the narrative to certain players, you're going to forget about some of the guys who was already carrying the load. So, that's my thing. If he's going to be straight in OTAs, I need you to hold on to the football bit, dog. That's what I need you to work on. Everything else, you have a God-given ability to run.
Now, I've been kicked out of Falcons camp.
What haven't you been kicked out of?
3 times.
Why?
I've been kicked out of Falcons camp 3 times. And it's because when I came up, the coach used to always say, son, don't drop my football. Hold on to my football. If I throw it to you, catch it. Even if you got to go to the ground, I don't want the football touching the ground. All right. Then what he used to do, if you did drop his football during the game, there would be a blanket party. Then during the week of school, you would get to carry the coach's football around school. He would give people $5 just to follow you around and try to catch you slipping and knock the football out your hand. And as soon as he found out about that, he beating on you again. Then the wide receivers, you see how close I am to this camera right here? See, we got one of those jugs machines, one of the first ones. He used to put the wide receivers right here.
Oh man.
And crank it up as high as it
how
goes.
many fingers were broken?
Son, you got to catch my football. Otherwise, you're gonna go see that thing, that three-legged monster here later on today. And see and man, I'm telling you, now when I go to camp, when I'm watching, one thing that used to really set me off, because I spotted it and I always talked about it, was quarterbacks staring at receivers. Yeah. You stare at receivers, you stare coverage over there, because everybody, these defensive coordinators, these linebacker coaches, these cornerback coaches, they're getting paid. It's just like a poker game. They're looking at your tail, they're looking at your facial expression, they're looking at what you do. And one thing that these quarterbacks have done they'll sit up there and they'll stare at the doggone man from the time he get dressed in the morning until the time you decide to throw him the ball. And you can't do that. The players in the NFL are the best players in the world, football players in the world. No matter what draft they came out of, they are still better than anything else, any place else. And these coaches are constantly coaching them, telling them things, because when you get into a Super Bowl, when you get into the playoffs, you're playing the best that your league has, your conference has, then you're playing the best that that other conference has. And when you make simple mistakes like that, you're just giving people an edge for no reason at all. And that's why I would start to hollering and yelling, hey, Matt, why are you staring at the man? You know where he's gonna be. Quit staring at the receiver. Oh, hey, mister, you got to calm down, man. You know, and it would go on from there. It would just go on from there because I get so frustrated.
I'm gonna tell you this here. You lucky. Like, see, Atlanta. This is why I say Atlanta's a Bible Belt city, and I love my home. But good God, it is a Bible Belt city when it comes to that, because I visited, when I was still in the service, they had free military days for us. I visited training camp up here. I got to watch how these fans are. They ruthless. And the folks let them, but here's the thing. But they let them do that to them, because guess what? It's worse when you got 80, 90,000 people that's doing the same thing. And you can't sit there and be mad at these guys when you have family. I mean, when you have fans up in there. It's just what it is. You can't be mad, because the problem with our fan base is this. Oh, you hate? No, I'm telling the truth. It's a difference between hating and telling the truth. Now, I'll say this. Now, we're going to use Bijan Robinson similar to Christian McCaffery. We're getting into that or whatnot. The thing is this. You're a first-round pick. You're going to be held to another. You, Kyle Pitts, and Drake London are held to different standards than everybody else that's drafted than y'all. Because when you're drafted first-round pick overall for your team, that means that you're the best. You're one of the best players to come out, and you've got to prove that because of the type of money that you're getting, the type of revenue you're getting ready to earn as a first-round pick. You got 4 years to get it right, hoping you don't get injured or anything happens. Unfortunately, Pitts got hurt his second year. He wasn't the same last year, but I'm just using that as an example. But now, all right, you got a quarterback now. You pretty much have a chance to do some stuff, and they built weapons around you. So now, if you don't get it done this year, you got to go. Period. Because they've built this offense. They've literally built this offense and brought in veteran pieces to help this thing out. And when you look at the type of offense that's been built, Kirk Cousins already gives the Falcons offense validation. Because soon as he got here, what did the media start saying? Oh, Atlanta's a playoff caliber team. But we already knew that Atlanta was going to be a playoff caliber team because of the fight that we saw with the defense last year that we had. And we just had bad quarterback play. We could have been in the playoffs 3 years straight with Arthur Smith. But El Dumio, as Buck Bellew called him, he said he's an idiot. Buck Bellew called him that last week when he was on our show. Literally called him that. Yeah. He didn't hold back. No, and I loved it. He didn't hold back at all. And he jumped on Bijan Robinson. So when you look at it, we could have been in the playoffs and won this weak division that we're in. Now, there is no excuse for us not to win this division, period.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
No excuses. You have a top 10 offense with all the players that you brought in. We know we got to get timing. What's going on, coach? We got to get timing down. That's going to, once that gets down, now you have to produce. I keep telling people, Odu Hilaire is going to make this roster. And so is Isaiah Wood Sr. These wide receivers that I pointed out. Ray McCloud is definitely a solid player, but the reason he got let go out of Frisco is his hands are too inconsistent. There's an opportunity. If his hands aren't consistent, yes, we already signed him to a contract. However, if his hands aren't consistent, you got an Alabama A&M kid that transferred to Bowling Green that showed out on both levels and was dominant. And then you got Isaiah Wooden Sr., who started at Kent State and went to Southeastern Utah and literally was put it this way, he was Alfred Jenkins with better route running. That's the best way I could describe him, John. I'm
Lightning
going
in the
old
bottle.
school for you.
Lightning in the bottle.
Literally. No
Now-
defensive back could get a hand on him, even when they jammed him. They couldn't get hands on him. And, you know, he'll probably make special teams. They're going to make special teams, of course. That's just what they're going to do because they've already paid this money to Mooney, to McLeod, and also, I always forget the kid's name. The kid from Arizona.
Okay, now, let me ask you something. And I just want to, since you mentioned special teams, what do you think that's going to look like? Because, you know, they changed. It was a drastic change on how we're going to be running special teams this year. Is it going? I don't see that being as rough as it used to be, even though they modified it a couple of years ago.
Well, it's going to be a lot easier for guys to get off now.
Yeah.
On special teams. And here's the thing. You're getting ready to see a lot of guys prove their worth. Like another guy that everybody has forgotten about that's still on the roster is Avery Williams. He's fighting for his job right now. So
I thought he got cut.
He's still around. He's still around. He ain't get cut yet. Hasn't gotten cut yet. But it's looking like he possibly will be cut.
Gonna be competitive.
Because think about it, you got Ray McLeod, you have Isaiah Wooden Sr., and then you have Odu Hilaire. You have 4 guys that's going to be competing for punt return and kick return jobs. And then, you know, they're going to take, and I guarantee you, D. Alford's going to be in an emergency. He's going to be an emergency guy. We're going to use D. Alford more for slot cover this year.
Thank you.
You know, the guy is nice.
Yeah.
Well, one thing that I'm going to say at this juncture about fiscal year 2025, 2024, 2025, one thing I never do, I don't put pressure on new coaches. I give them a year. And the reason why I do so is the Falcons have so many hold my beer moments that it's ridiculous.
God. Can't even disagree with that either.
John, shut up.
He's not wrong.
See, when you get a 25-point lead in a Super Bowl, you're supposed to start making plans.
John, we're not gonna go back to that.
But
we ain't going
you know,
to
to solidify my point, I'm just gonna say that, and that's all I'm gonna say. You know,
enough.
You know.
But it's gonna take about
just like last year, you know, we were supposed to go to the play. Weren't we supposed to go to the playoffs? Everybody had us like going to the playoffs at the beginning of the season.
John,
now I always
playoffs 3 years straight.
Okay, well, I always give my prediction. My prediction, since we have a 17-game season, was 4-14 all the time, being 10-point underdogs in the bye week. You know. That's just the way I roll, and I always say, "Prove me wrong, Falcons. Prove me wrong." I would enjoy you proving me wrong. So that means that we were a success, that we did something good. However, you know, like I said, that first year, see there, just like you said, and just like we're talking about right now, we haven't even put pads on yet.
Nope.
We haven't touched each other yet. You know, we and then I think we're scrimmaging against Miami again this year in the preseason.
Jacksonville too.
Yeah, we going head to head. Let's go.
We getting all the Florida. Look, we getting both Florida teams.
Yeah.
We want all the smoke.
So hey, once I see that and see what that looks like, then the picture becomes clearer for prognostication. But, you know, up until that time, man, hey, you know, I'm from Missouri. You got to show me. You got to get it off the paper, put it on the field.
Well put. I'm gonna sit back and just at this point I'm laughing because it's funny at this point. But getting back to it, the next topic that we have. And this is going to be the one that everybody's been waiting on, tampering. And here's the thing. Everybody was sitting there trying to say that it wasn't a valid source, but Mike Florio works for NFL Network. He also works for NBC, and he's an accomplished journalist. We get that he worked in Minnesota. Hell, Steve Weiss worked in Atlanta and Miami. Are we gonna sit there and say that he's biased about his opinion because he worked for both of those teams? No. The man was doing his job. The man reported, and you can look back at it. It was posted on NBC. Matter of fact, I'm actually gonna pull that up for y'all while we sitting here talking. I'm about to have a Marcus Washington moment. I'm gonna have a come to Jesus moment with some folks because Kyle Pitts can't do no wrong in nobody's eyes, right?
Oh Lord.
Ain't no oh Lord, it was reported. Ain't no need to sit there and say, oh Lord, we already know.
I knew it was coming.
Well, yes,
it was coming.
Because see, when you nominate someone a unicorn and they haven't even grown a horn, this king making, that people do all the time, it's really ridiculous. It's just like you sitting up here gonna bestow an honor on someone who has fought no battles, has won no wars, hasn't been through anything, and before the man even hit the field, yeah, that's a unicorn. He's a once in a lifetime talent. He's a this, that, and the other. And come on, man, hold up on that car wash, boss. Hold up on that car wash. Let me see what he can do first. You grab that article yet, Ryan?
Yes, I did, and I'm pulling it up right now because this was on MSNBC. So I'm definitely getting ready to pull this up because we had some people that was in their feelings about it. A lot of people were in their feelings about it during different things or whatnot. But again, this is literally MSNBC, and this is actually a valid source. So I'm gonna pull this out. So let's see. The issue didn't stop. Kyle Pitts is getting caught up in the act. Cousins also admitted to being directly involved in a recruiting for former Bears Darnell Mooney during the negotiating window. This suggests that tampering with Cousins got to the point that he was involved with tampering with Mooney. Finally, Cousins made it clear that Falcons tight end Kyle Pitts had been working on Cousins for a couple of weeks before he signed, which is another violation if Pitts was acting in the direction of the Falcons in recruiting Cousins, Mike Florio added. Clear as day, clear as a bell. It's right there.
Now,
and if you don't believe it, we can send you the link because that right there is not good.
Hell no,
that's not good.
Now, this is going to be the problem.
We're gonna take our punishment, man. That's what I say, man. We
pretty much done chopped off our nose to spite our face, man.
We got our guy. What's our punishment? That's all. I don't even know why we crying about this. Let's get it.
Nah, it's the fact that we could be losing a few picks next year. That's the problem.
Oh, now
it's the fact that we can lose a few picks next year. That's the problem.
I know we're gonna lose some picks. That's why we took Penix when we took them. I mean, we know we got.
We ain't talking about. Listen, we ain't talking about the quarterback spot. That's already secured. You still got to address the secondary. You still got to get depth for the linebacking core. You have to get the offensive line. We ain't worried about the quarterback. We got a room with 4 different quarterbacks in there that can ball out and start anywhere in the league. I take that back. Heineke is the only one that can't start now. But the other 3, yeah, they can start. But all the other positions, we got too many holes still on this team that we got to fill. And us losing those picks could possibly hurt us next year.
I know that they can hurt us, but that is what it is. The key thing is that's why he was tampering. If we weren't tampering, we probably wouldn't have got him. All of that came into play to get Kirk Cousins, the guy that we wanted. All I'm saying is you do the time. I mean, the crime got to do the time. So we got to goddamn give up them picks.
But here's the problem. Why the hell should we have? Here's the problem. Why the hell should we have to give up these picks or whatnot if somebody could have kept their mouth shut? If you gonna sit there and do some stuff like that, keep your mouth shut. That's all I'm saying.
Now
he may not have known that he was tampering. That's why he said it so easily.
Yeah, when he spoke at that press conference, man. No one knew about that. Man. When he spoke at that press conference, dog, and he put that out there and said he talked to the trainer like, really, dog? You really said that. And now that you open that can of worms or whatnot, everybody getting ready to dig in there. Pretty much. Kirk Cousins opened up that can of worms. And Pitts again was a part of that.
I just can't see this guy coming up there at the podium and deliberately. I'm sure he was thinking that it was cool to talk to the trainer. I don't think he just purposely threw his damn new team under the bus. Like,
come on, man. That's
all I'm saying. That's what.
Okay.
Even if you don't purposely throw somebody under the bus, you having a slip up like that is costly. That right there, that was costly.
Now we know, but I'm just saying. I mean, he was just talking. I mean, answering questions in a press conference, man. I mean, come on.
And again, if you got somebody with some common sense or whatnot, and as long as his butt ain't been in the game, is certain questions that not to say anything about, because you already know that the NFL is always looking to twist stuff, always.
You should know. Now, let me stick a spoon in this stew right here for a second.
You about to stir the pot, Lord help us.
Here you go.
What I am beginning to be relieved about is Fontenot, Morris, Beatles, the Falcons Brain Trust were not directly involved in this. Okay, that's the thing that I'm relieved about. If it comes to light that it wasn't their fault, because I would be very, very upset about the fact that you are losing picks because you violated the law willingly and knowingly. Well, or either violated the law by mistake, because you guys are getting paid enough money to be able to stay above the rules. You got Rich McKay on the competition committee. He's on your staff. Okay. Then on top of that, last year, if we got gigged for this and it was the front office's fault, you got to put in the Bijan Robinson injury reporting situation that makes it look worse and makes us look like habitual violators from the front office.
Exactly.
Okay. See, that's the thing that really was concerning me when they were talking about this situation, because you already got Arthur Smith messing that situation up as far as reporting Bijan Robinson being injured. Okay. Then you got this when you're trying to build a new franchise, and Raheem Morris and the rest of the Falcons and the Falcons coaches, trainers, staff, they don't need to be saddled with stuff like this that's going to hamper them or stop them from building the team that they want by losing draft picks, because draft capital, I don't care what round it is very, very, very important, very crucial to the building of your team. If not for picking players with those picks, dealing those picks. And you don't know what round, if it is going to be a draft, they're going to be taking draft picks from us. We don't know what round it's going to be. Now, these articles are saying that this is going to be a severe punishment. So severe means first round all the way to seventh round.
Yep.
As far as I'm concerned, I don't know.
God forbid they say we got to give up 3 picks.
Oh
yeah,
God, that
hurts.
When you think about it, the Miami Dolphins gave up a first round pick. Then they also had to give up money, if you remember, a lot of money, because they actually entertained Tom Brady on a ship, on a yacht. We didn't entertain Kirk like that. So my thing is, I think what happened was, again, we pissed off the order in the NFL, because they weren't expecting us to take quarterback. They wanted us to take a defensive end. It was slated that way. So now they getting ready to drop the hammer on us or whatnot. I'm fine, because it is what it is. But at the same time, I'm like, hey, we gonna lose picks. But again, that came from the unicorn, the new guy, and it's just not good. It's not good at all.
I mean,
but to K-Dub, go ahead.
No, I'm just gonna make us look like we be just doing dumb stuff for like many. I mean, if you go all the way back to when we pumped the fake crowd noise, and then now you add on top of the Bijan Robinson situation, him
Just
in
think about it.
healthcare, and now this, it gives
Yeah,
up a bad rep.
Great. Think about this. The Eagles aren't even getting punished severely.
Hell
And they
no.
tampered with Saquon, a division rival, and they got him in Philly. And they're not going to get punished like we're going to get punished.
They're making a gamble out of it.
Exactly.
Hey, and the bad part about the crowd noise, we still lost.
No. We still lost that game. Boy,
And now I'm gonna say something, K-Dub, think about this too. And I want y'all to think about this. Now the Atlanta Braves didn't take off until they was cheating. You remember the dude before Anthopoulos came there?
Yep.
Yeah.
See, we didn't take off until that man got busted for doing. I'm trying to remember, what was it that he got busted for?
I can't remember right off there. I know exactly what you was talking about. I was actually out at sea when that mess happened.
Yeah.
I was playing the service at that time.
I was in Iraq.
Yeah,
but what are you talking about?
Yeah, and see, the thing is about that. If you're going to do something of this nature, and see, that's why I can't subscribe to the theory or to the feeling that Kirk Cousins was willfully sabotaging the team. Kirk Cousins, from what they tell me about Kirk Cousins is a choir boy.
Oh,
if somebody gives,
hold on, and he sing like one too.
Yeah, see, that's my point. That's my point. Because see, if they gave him too much change at a fast food restaurant, he give it right back. He's one of those type of people, and I still don't know, and still can't say in all good conscience that he knew what he was talking about. He was just so very happy to be here that he just I had sex when I was 11. My mom doesn't know anything about it. Come on, son. Don't nobody asked you that.
Yeah, but that's what I was trying to say, John. I mean, you are exactly.
Yeah, that's what he impresses me. That's what he impresses me as being. He'll just, you don't take him. You don't take folk like that to the strip club. You don't. Yeah, golly gee, you know what I saw? Son, just shut up. And somebody would have to beat him down in the back seat to keep him from talking. That's what he impresses me as being.
Hey, John, you ain't got to beat him down. All you got to do is stuff some of them damn lemon pepper wings in his mouth. He'll shut up.
Yeah, and we make the best down here.
Give him some lemon pepper wing. He'll be all right.
We make the best down here.
Yes, sir.
Oh, yes, we do. Here come today.
Yes, sir.
Hey, the only other place that actually make wings like that, Buffalo, New York. That's their thing.
Yeah.
Like, no lie. I can't eat front, John. Buffalo,
I got to go.
I got to go to the wing festival. My boy brought wings back from the wing festival for me. And
when is that? When is that?
I got to check and see, and I'll get that info to you. But
because look, I ain't got to do nothing but put gas in the truck.
Man, that's Buffalo is pretty much by Canada, right? So that's gonna be that's gonna be a whole day drive for you. I'm letting you know that now.
That's a nice long drive.
That's a nice long drive, my boy.
I done told y'all. Look here. I jumped in the truck. No, that ain't the worst thing I did. Me and my ex got into it one time. And
hold on, is this a story that you can? Hold on, is this?
Yeah, I can tell this. I can tell this. This is G. This is
Go
G.
ahead.
Okay. This is G.
G for go.
Well, we had a disagreement, and I got in the car and ended up in New Orleans. Went to the Waffle House, ate, turned around, and came back.
You did a Forrest Gump?
Yeah, he pulled a Forrest Gump.
I just felt like running. That's what you trying to tell me?
Hey, look here. Brian, I was in a 79 Lincoln Mark V.
John, please
Lord
don't
have
tease
mercy.
me, because you
Lord.
know, I'm gonna tell you the truth. I fell in love with Lincolns when I got one. Like I said, I like Buicks. I was in the German cars. I really was in the German cars. But when I got that Lincoln, it's a done deal.
Let me tell you
One
something.
of the smoothest riding cars in this world. Still.
I had a Lincoln. I ain't like Lincoln.
Which one did you have?
A Continental.
What year? What year?
What?
What year was it, K-Dub?
What year was that Lincoln, man? It was like it had to be 89 or something. I don't know.
Boy, you crazy,
No,
man.
see, let me tell you something. That 79 was a collector series. It was the last big, long, squared off body with the Continental back, vinyl roof. The moon roof was as big as your dining room table. I remember one time setting the cruise control and sitting up on the moon roof out on top of the car.
Maybe
See, that was back. That was back when
it
people ain't had that many folk in Atlanta at that time, so you could do that.
It may have been 96 or something though.
Yeah, see, those smaller ones, man. Look, man. I'm telling you,
I just know the hydraulics when I on the back and I was riding on the.
Oh no, those old ones didn't have hydraulics.
Yeah, you talking about the 90s.
Now the newer ones, the newer ones that came out from about, I'll say, probably about 2014 all the way up until about 2019 or whatnot. Those Lincolns have the same riding ability as the old Lincolns. They put that technology in there with these newer cars, and it's still nice. But I'm gonna be real. Let me mess around and get me an old school Continental with suicide doors. I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah, well, the thing about the newer cars, they are about 3,800 to 4,000 pounds. Yep. Those old ones, you looking at 4,800 to 5,200 pounds of pig iron, over 30 feet long, 130-inch wheelbase. And see, thing is that when you riding in between the front axle and the rear axle back there like that, 80-something inches wide, and where you can't even touch the other door if you stretch your hand out over there, man. Let me tell you something, man. Ain't nothing like it.
Hey John, if I ever get one, I'm gonna let you know now. If I ever get one, after I take care of some stuff, if I find one and I get one, and I'm sliding up to Atlanta, all I'm gonna say, hey, John, take a ride with me. Let's go.
Yeah.
Hey,
it'll be a trip.
Y'all gonna see the cricket. Y'all gonna see the cricket preacher and the historian leaning back in the car like this.
That's the only way to ride.
Then we gonna slide over to Augusta and go holler at K-Dub.
Yeah, silly boy.
Man, I'm telling you, man.
When he ain't driving.
Look, I'm telling you, and the thing was that Ford and Lincoln used to always conduct these blindfold riding tests, where back in the 70s, where they would put Rolls-Royce owners in the back of the car and ask them which car rode the best. And they would always say the Lincoln. They would always say the Lincoln.
Well, let's talk about one last thing before we wrap this thing up. Now, you was talking about how everything rides the best or whatnot. Let's talk about, we already talked about Richie Grant earlier. They got mentioned. Ain't no need to even get even further than that. Now, getting into this situation, they already have the Falcons slated as a top 10 offense, and we ain't touched the field yet. How long do you guys think that this offense is really going to take the click? I believe it's going to be close to the middle or to the end of the year when they finally figure things out and get all the timing and everything together.
I care about 5-pick game.
I only reason why I got to say later in the year is because it's a lot of guys learning the system, and it takes a year to really learn a system. And that's why I say close to the middle or the end of the season.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I can feel like within a year under our belt, I can see the offense really clicking, but I think we'll start finding our niche by that kick and Kevin game. You'll start to see more consistency and a lot more fluid, and to get a little bit more comfortable with the offense.
I think they'll be humming. I think they'll be humming like that week 8, week 9. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of guys have been in the league in this offense. You know what I'm saying? That's what you get paid to do. Pick it up. Let's go.
But you got to remember, when you're talking about this spread type of offense, it's not the West Coast offense, but it's a mixture. If you ever look at it, it's a mixture of the West Coast offense and the smash mouth concept of the Joe Gibbs offense. And this is what Shanahan had. Now, that blocking scheme, Dr. Joe Taylor created that, and shout out to Dr. Joe Taylor for that one. He and he's humble about it. He's very humble about it, because Mike Shanahan still gives him credit for that. But when you look at that, that's one of the most brilliant moves that you can have with an offense, to be able to pound people, and then you're able to run a lot of timing routes from that West Coast offense. That's a beautiful thing. What you got, John?
See, the thing is, Kirk Cousins brings a reputation with him.
Okay.
What did he? Wait a minute. He make it through the season and he bend around corners like a 77 Eldorado bending them corners when he can't fold in the playoffs. I'm just saying.
Well, I was going to just refer to the regular season.
Hell no. If you're going to talk about him, John, we're going to talk about him. Talk about him. He damn fold in the playoffs like a 77 Eldorado bending around Front Street back in 72.
Now, do you blitz Kirk Cousins like you blitz a Desmond Ridder because of the inexperience?
Nope. He'll pick you apart.
So that's what I'm talking about.
But you do it anyway because you're coming off an injury.
But here's the question. Can he move around in the pocket? Because you got to remember, he's not going to run unless he has to. But John, you got to think about this. When you look at those guys that's coming off the edge now, and you're looking at guys that are running 4.3s, 4.4s, and these defensive linemen that are running under 4.5 that are coming, and they're beating these offensive linemen. You got Caleb McCaffery protecting this guy's blind side.
Damn.
Yeah. Think about it. You got Caleb McCaffery protecting his blind side, John. Again, how is he going to be able to adapt when he knows that he don't even have 2 seconds to get rid of the football? He got 1.5.
Well, and what's gonna have to happen? Tight end is gonna have to be over there. So your offense may be limited because of the tight end having to help Caleb McCaffery out over there on that side.
Or you just bench him and put Storm Norton in there.
Thank you.
Or do that.
Because Storm Norton held his own when McCaffery was out. Because think about it. You saw, if you ever look at it, Ritter's best games came when McCaffery wasn't in. And I'm not a Ridder. And like I said, we promoted Ridder, but guess what? We had to jump off that train. It was too much. But the thing that you got to give him is when he had those days where he was lighting it up, McCaffery wasn't starting.
Yeah. And, oh boy. And we got suckered. The man went and worked out and started looking like Bane from Batman when you pump that juice in him.
I ain't get suckered. I ain't get suckered because guess what? All these jokers in here was saying I was too hard on them. We talking about, man, give him a chance. Yeah, I got ridiculed. I got ridiculed in here for that.
Yeah, me.
Yeah, thank you, Glenn. Glenn was the main one. Look, Glenn was the one that was holding. You know how you say you know how you say you have somebody that's walking point and you about to get shot. Glenn had that rifle sitting right there, M16 looking right at me.
Man, come on, man, throw me out. But no,
I ain't stalling you out for that one because you hurt my feelings. I'm sensitive. Hold on. I said Falcon fans are sensitive. I was sensitive for that moment.
How?
I'm lying. I ain't sensitive. I'm just rude.
Damn right you ain't got that.
Well, thing is about that.
No, I'm sorry. My bad. McCaffery would be protecting my fault. McCaffery would be protecting Penix's blind side. But still,
yeah.
Hey,
the sacks. Look,
I'm still gonna say that's Kirk Cousins' blind side because he's gonna be looking downfield and not seeing what's coming.
Oh my God!
Look, man, if no matter what side the rush comes from that puts you on your behind. And this Joker here, I mean, it's just like the Joker. It's just like he was involved in a mafia hit, getting ready to get thrown in the ocean with concrete blocks around his feet. He can't move. He couldn't move.
No,
he couldn't
but
move.
Here's the problem. But here's the problem now. We have that going, and they kept him to keep his buddy. They did that because Lindstrom, that was his buddy. He brought him along, and they good friends, and so he looked out for his boy. That was a buddy package, and I feel like we shouldn't have spent that money on that guy. That's just my opinion on that.
Well, see now, okay. Well, let me ask you this: Lindstrom always gets high marks for his blocking ability, whether it be the run or the pass. Mm-hmm. Could it be that McCaffery was getting all of the smoke because they knew he was an easy target and didn't even challenge Lindstrom? Because see, I've seen Lindstrom, McCaffery, that center that we had, and I'm glad, like I said, I'm glad that Desmond Ritter had kids, because the way that Dahlman used to snap the ball, I thought they were going to doggone castrate him. You didn't know which way the ball was coming.
Because what made it bad, John, it was two of them. Him and Hennessy was doing it.
Yeah, and Hennessy too. All of them, and on each play, one of them would be just like them real kill roaches. When they spray them, they're just up on the ground with the legs up, all of them. Like a bunch of dead roaches out there. And I said, man, come on. And then you want to know why somebody can't run. Yeah. I got to trip over you, and even in order to get started.
Well, Jamal, we've already addressed that in many other episodes where we've talked about where McCaffery is a solid run blocker, but at the end of the day, here's the thing: he's got to be able to pass block, because
you got to do both.
Offense, but here's the thing: you have to throw the ball. We are not going to be running the ball 30, 40 times a game. It's going to be balanced, and you actually have a quarterback that can actually throw now. So either he gonna get right or he gonna get left. Period. He got to get his pass blocking right. I don't think it's going to happen. Maybe he'll prove me wrong. I feel like Storm Norton should be the guy that starts. Storm Norton is literally better at run blocking and pass blocking.
Indeed. I'm glad we find him back.
The film don't lie.
So I guess the coach, hey man, coach, you got to put the best one in there. You got to put the best one in there. And if that man is not cutting it, I do not want to see him like I used to see Ty Sombrello all the damn time around here, because Dan Quinn loved him some Ty Sombrello.
Well, it got worse when we had Mayfield.
I'm talking about, good grief, man. Every time you looked around, somebody get hurt. Well, Ty Sombrello is starting at right tackle today. Such guy. Man, will you quit? Why don't you deport this man so he can't come back in the States? Yeah, every time you look around, I mean, you got 32 other teams, colleges all over the country, and the only thing you know how to get when somebody gets hurt is Ty Sombrello. Wow, man, come on. It was just ridiculous.
And here's the thing. All I'm going to say is this, and we got to wrap this up with that right there. I agree with you on that, because it's been a problem for years. And like I said, man, it's just one of those things where we as fans, we're gonna voice our opinions. Truthfully, they don't give a damn. They listen. They've heard people complaining and crying, because everybody. It's a lot of people that was mad about this draft. We ain't gonna sit there and act like they weren't. But here's the thing: they addressed needs. They've been listening. Terry has been listening. When you had a bullheaded coach that was like Arthur Smith that did not want to listen to nobody, you saw what the results were. Raheem is listening to the people that are around him right now. And he's trusting Terry, because Terry ended up getting guys that fit the scheme, for number one. For number two, he's bringing in depth. That's the other thing that we lack. We really have not had depth in a long time, since the Super Bowl year. That was the last time we really had a lot of depth. But now we're looking at it from a standpoint. It's like, all right, they're stockpiling things. If we lose draft picks next year, the question is, how much are we going to be willing to spend in free agency next year? Because Tightwad Terry don't spend no money. And if we lose, depending on how many picks we lose, we're gonna have to go get some free agents out there. That's out there.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. Well, he you know, when he was shopping at Family Dollar and Big Lots and stuff, he got some pretty good pieces last year and the year before on the defensive side. Anyway,
together with bubble gum,
now
duct tape, and scotch tape, sir.
Yeah. No, well, now that you're able to shop at Walmart and Target,
he's able to get Gorilla Glue now.
Yeah, I just want to see what you can do now. So,
well, we definitely appreciate you coming through, John. Let them know where you can find you at and what time.
Usually, my show is called the Eye Test. I have people on. Hey, man, we come in. We start off with Falcons. We liable to go from 20 to 285 without taking the exit ramp. We'll go 4-wheel drive and get all in the mud and then find our way back, talking about Falcons and various other things. And Graybeard, you and KW, you are more than welcome to come on. I ain't gonna beat you up too bad. You can ask Ryan. I didn't beat him up at all last night. He really beat me up on my show, and it was a crying shame.
Listen, I don't beat you up.
I'll bring my collection. I'll bring the collection. Don't worry, my tithe and offering.
All right.
You know, but yeah, we had a real good time. We had a good time last night.
I got you.
Discussing various things.
Good.
And you know, guys, you know, y'all are always welcome to come on. It's 10 o'clock. YouTube, since Facebook acting up.
They hate.
Yeah, we getting ready to cancel the BirdCage on Facebook. That's a done deal now because we can't even post in our group. So it's just what it is at this point.
Man,
they hate.
I expect them to change this policy soon. I expect them to change this policy.
I hope so. For the sake of business, I hope so. But thank you for coming through, John. We appreciate it. And we'll catch him next time. Appreciate y'all boys for coming through. Y'all did y'all thing tonight, as always. A little slower of a night, but we definitely appreciate folks coming through. You either get right or you get left, man. And please smash that like button on your way out because we had a couple of folks in here, so we get those likes up. We definitely appreciate you guys.
Appreciate you, homie.
Yes, sir. That was good old Winston, man. Shout out to Winston over there with John and with the eye test. Any final thoughts, fellas, before we close this thing out?
I mean, OTA can still fresh, man. I'm not really putting in no stock. I'm just hopefully we just keep players healthy. That's the main concern of any Falcon fan. It's just keeping our core players healthy and keep what we can do when training camp and the preseason start. So yeah, that's pretty much all I got.
Yeah, I mean, to piggyback off what Graybeard was just saying is to stay healthy, stay focused, stay healthy, stay in the playbook, and stay building that team chemistry. I mean, you guys need to be going bowling, put whatever, top golf, whatever they need to do to get that team bonding going. Even though they're grown adults, I mean, to get that camaraderie going, to get this season going on the right note, and go ahead and go on a playoff run and a Super Bowl run. If not that.
Well said. Thank you for coming through tonight. Well, ladies and gentlemen, our time has come. But like I said, we'll see you next week. Definitely looking forward to talking a little bit more Falcon football and some OTAs. We got some great interviews coming up, so y'all be easy and stay tuned for that. We'll get at you a little later. You either get right or you get left. We out. Peace.